Hi, good afternoon all. Welcome back to the Sabres Reloaded. It's about time I do one of these. And today's topic, guys, we're going to talk about home ice. Coming back home. And I see I completely screwed up yesterday, folks. I'm going to show you something, okay, in a second here. Okay, first I'm going to give a shout out, though, this time, guys, which is not norm on this video, but I'm going to give a shout out. Here's a clip. And shout out goes to Mark Baccio, and he goes, "What is your view on how they are such a different team on the road?" Okay, so we're going to talk, Mark, about this today. We're going to talk about the home ice and my thoughts on that in a sec. But guys, I talked to you yesterday, okay, about the home schedule, and I said, what is everybody talking about? And then I said, wait a minute, we do have Columbus coming. I missed Columbus. Don't ask me how. I didn't see it. It's right here. I just didn't see it. So we got Washington and Columbus. Sorry, Columbus, but it's really good news we got you guys. You know, nothing against Columbus. I wish that franchise well. But right now, we need to play teams that aren't in the zone, and they're not in the zone this year. So we got Columbus, too, coming up this month. Don't ask me how I missed that, folks. I just did. So Columbus is on the 28th. I'm getting the days even mixed up. I'm thinking tomorrow's the 28th of the month. Guys, I'm not with it. So we got Washington, then we got Columbus, okay? And then we got Tampa Bay, Edmonton. I'm going to put the list. I'll put the list on my side, okay? As I'm speaking here, guys, I'll get on this side and I'll put it here. So we got, again, I'll just put the list. I'll continue. So we got Tampa Bay on the 4th, Edmonton on the 6th, Dallas on the 9th, the Rangers on the 11th, the Bruins on the 19th, Nashville on the 21st, New Jersey on the 24th, the Habs on the 27th, and on the 31st to close out the month, we have the Rangers. Let's continue. And to close out the season, folks, all right, we have Carolina and then Ottawa on the 8th and 13th, respectively, in April. So there's our home schedule. We'll take this down now. In April, guys, just so you know, 6 of our last 8 games, we have 8 games in April, 6 are on the road. In Philadelphia, in Florida, in Detroit, in New York, Rangers, in New Jersey, in Columbus to close out the season. So there it is. Okay, let's get back to Mark's question now. He wants my view on, this is why I'm making a thing about the home ice today on this one, Mark. I believe that the Sabres, it's just, I believe, and I could be wrong, but I just believe it's a psychological thing because they're young. Distractions, of course. I've seen some of you mark that. You're spot on right about that. Those of you that wrote that about like coming home to family, wives, things like this, right? I mean, and not that they're bad family, but they are distractions. This is why when they're on the road, there's not really much distraction. Really, there isn't. Because you're on the road, you're in a hotel, that's it. You know, you're there with the boys, you're there for team meetings, and you're ready to do business, and that's it. At home, there's a lot of distraction. It's easy for players to get into their cars that live out close by and things like this. And that can be a distraction. But I honestly think it's more psychological than anything. I just believe that this home ice thing has kind of crept into their head, folks. I really do believe that. I think that it's kind of crept into the back of their head. It's crept into mine. So if it's crept into mine, I'm not surprised it's crept into theirs. You know, the numbers don't lie. When you're that much under 500 at home and you're that much over 500 on the road, there's something going on. One thing that the road record proves is we have a good team. We have a good team. When you can win on the road the way we're winning, you have a good team. You have an elite team if you want the truth. But at home, we play pretty bad defensively too. You know, I was going to do a stat, but I didn't have time to really look today, Mark, to do this. But I would have liked to seen how many games on home ice we've opened up with the first goal and how many games on the road we've opened up with the first goal. I just would have liked to know that stat. Kind of curious how many times on the road we had the lead going into the third, how many times at home we had the lead going into the third, things like this. I would have liked to check, but it just would took too much time, and I got to get these videos up as my buddy Abe's coming over soon, and I want to get these videos out to you guys. So I think really it's youth, it's growth. It's going to take time for the kids to adjust to success everywhere. Success takes adjustment, you know. They've adjusted on the road with it. This road trip proves it to me, guys. I mean, yeah, I was doubting them on this road trip. You guys know it. I was doubting those 2 games. You know, I would have been happy getting one of them, really. And to win the way we won in Florida, I thought it was a convincing win, really. You know, I thought goaltending was good. I thought our physical play was good. But what I liked about because the truth is, yesterday's game, Anderson didn't have to make a ton of great saves, but when he was called upon, he did. What I liked about Anderson in that game was his calmness. Like you guys seen, he make a catch and he just like throw it out. He just throw it out. You know, he just throw it. And keep the play going, or just tap it into the corner with no concern. Just very veteran presence, you know. This is why I wanted Anderson in nets yesterday, because I thought, you know, he could bring that calmness to the team, which he did yesterday. That was, for me, in yesterday's game, what was the main thing, folks. It wasn't Anderson's saves, because I can pretend if you want and say, oh my goodness, he made 50 saves or whatever it was. You know, I've seen Anderson have better games than yesterday. Okay, I have. I know he only let in 1 goal, but it wasn't like he was tested over and over. I thought that game in Tampa, we were under siege a lot more than we were yesterday, even though they had more shots than Tampa. I thought Tampa's chances were quality. They were right in our face. They were hitting everything. I mean, it was a harder game. So that's why it was a big one that we won in Tampa. I mean, this was big too. But, you know, I think when you look at yesterday's game with Anderson, it was his calmness, his presence that was so valuable yesterday. I think he was just so calm in the nets, folks. He was just la-di-da. I've done this 1,000 times. You know what I mean? It was that kind of feel about it. So that's the difference with the veteran goalie. Look, I wish Anderson was 5 years younger and this could be our goalie. I really do, but we do have to think about getting a goalie maybe at the deadline. You know, I don't think we can not look at it. It doesn't mean we have to do it, but I think we have to at least look at it as a possibility of something we got to do. Like if a Gibson becomes available, something like that. We have to look at it, and I'll just leave that there. Now, the home thing again, we don't have that calm about us either at home. This is why I think I got into the calm thing, Mark. I mean, we don't have that calm thing at home. We just seem to get nervous when we make mistakes. It just is. And you would think that the surface, the ice surface, is not the issue. Them putting on the equipment is not the issue. I believe it's them before the game putting on the equipment is the issue. That's just what I believe. I think it's a psychological thing that is in the back of their head. Until they win 3 or 4 in a row at home, it's going to still be there. It's going to still be present. So we've got to, the old saying goes, we got to work ourselves out of it. It's the only way. It's the only way. If the Sabres are going to make the playoffs this year, folks, they're going to get their act together at home. They're not going to have a great home record this year regardless. But I'll be honest, if we can finish 2 games over 500 at home this year, I'll be thrilled with that. 2. That's it. That's all I want. I just want to get it together at home. I don't want to be missing the playoffs by 4 points, but being 6 games under 500 at home at the end of the year. You get what I'm saying? Because then we're going to look and say, my goodness, if we were a 500 home team, we would have got in. That would be the most frustrating thing for us. There's so much accomplishment going on the road. But look, the kids know this. The team knows. The veterans know this. The team knows this. They just got to do something about it. Will they? I think they will. You know, this surprised me. This Columbus thing surprised me. I was like, right. You know, because I was thinking about Columbus just when I did that video a few weeks back about the month, what's coming. And I remember looking at it saying it closes with Columbus. And, you know, I just missed it yesterday. So we have 9-6, 10-6. We have 11 of our next 17 at home, folks. So we're making up all those games in hand next month, and a lot has to do with the home schedule. So, guys, we've got to win. We've got to start winning at home. So I figure in these By the next 11 games at home, I figure we got to go 7-3-1. 7-3-1. Yeah, that'll put us right back to 500 at home with 2 home games left. I'm being realistic. 7-3-1. And then all of a sudden we can think about, we can think about closing the season with a winning record at home at least. And then we have to, let's face it, we'll have to win on the road to get into the playoffs, folks. That's it. We've been doing it all year, so why not, right? So I'm going to leave it there. I've blabbed long enough about this. I'm just excited, as you can tell, guys. Coming home, I'm excited about this. I want to see what the boys do. And I want to see if they're going to pull up their socks and say, you know what, we got to get this done at home. If we're going to get in, I hope they have that conversation in the dressing room saying, guys, we have to win here in our building if we're going to get into the playoffs. I hope they have this conversation. All right, guys, done for this one. See you in the next one.